Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Dare to Overshare, where oversharing is a love language. I'm your host, Jackie, and I have a very special guest with me today, Amanda Butler. Not only is she a cancer survivor, and we're going to talk about that, she's also a wellness entrepreneur, and we were just talking about it, but a lot of other things. It's like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right. Especially when you're a creative and you have so much going on, like you can be so many different things.
Yeah, wear many hats.
Wear many hats. So thank you so much for being here today.
Being here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we got connected through another guest who was on the show. So if you watched or listened to my episode with Caitlin Herman, they're friends, and that's how I got connected with Amanda. So I love having people here who were like recommendations from somebody else. I always think that's a really cool way to get people on.
Yeah.
So thanks for saying yes, first of all.
Thank you. Thanks for asking me to be here. I'm so excited to just chat and overshare.
Yeah, I'm excited too. So let's do a vibe check first. How are you feeling today? How's the mental, physical, emotional, and everything?
Yeah, I'm good. As I just explained to you, I just did like a quick 24-hour turn to Florida. So I'm feeling the like jet lag. I'm like, the older I get, the like less I can handle physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of the above. But no, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Like every year that goes by, I'm grateful to be alive. And I actually, the older I get, the better my life is, but the harder it is to do things. I'm like, oh, my back, oh, my jet lag.
Yeah, there's always an excuse to stay at home and lay on the couch. Which
is why I appreciate you being here on this couch with me.
Yeah.
So let's get into our overshare. So what is it that's on your mind that you want to overshare about today?
Well, I've been oversharing on the internet for the last few years. As you mentioned, I am a cancer survivor. And so I'm just going to like talk about the like things that no one really tells you about as it comes to like being a cancer survivor and a cancer patient. So just, I'll give you a little bit of my like backstory, I guess, and then give you the juicy details.
Please. Yeah.
So I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer in 2022 at the age of 32. I was at the pinnacle of my fitness career. I was the healthiest person I knew. I ate really clean and have always been like very holistic when it came to my health. And so I found a lump on my breast just doing a self-exam at home. And I honestly didn't think much of it. But it turns out it was cancer. And that was obviously a really big shock to me because I didn't know anyone in my family who had even had breast cancer. So that started a really long journey of a year and a half of like intense cancer treatment. I went through 6 rounds of chemo initially, and then I did a double mastectomy and then 25 cycles of radiation. And through my double mastectomy, they found more residual cancer in my lymph nodes. So that meant I had to do 14 more rounds of a low dose chemo. So that was like an additional 9 months of treatment. So I officially finished treatment last March of 2024. And then I just finished my 4th surgery a couple months ago. So it's been a really long process, a lot of highs and a lot of really low lows. But through it, there's been some really amazing things. Like I started my cancer organization called Cancer Baddies, and it was basically a way for me to connect with other women around the world who were kind of experiencing what I was also going through. I started sharing everything on TikTok, and I felt like it was so one-sided because as my community was growing, they were really only getting my experience, and I wasn't really able to connect with other people. So that was really the reason why I started the organization, but also as a way to like offer additional ways of healing and really talk about what the hell is going on with cancer and like young women specifically. So I was trying to like live as normal of a life as possible as I was going through treatment, and like in my mind, which I shouldn't have even been focusing on this, I was like, I want to date and I want to find my person. Like that's always kind of been at the like forefront of my mind. Like family is really important to me. And what doctors don't tell you is like, when you're diagnosed, they're like, okay, this is going to be like 1 to 2 years of your life, right? So you go into it thinking, okay, I'm going to get treatment, I'm going to do all of this, and then everything is going to go back to normal. And it never does. The moment you're diagnosed, like your life will literally never be the same again, and you will never be that person again. And I wish doctors were more transparent about that, but unfortunately, you just have to figure that out as you go along. And so as you go into dating and trying to have these experiences, whether that's during treatment or when you go into survivorship, you get faced with like the reality of like, oh shit, like this is I'm going to have to be really vulnerable with people that I barely know. And so the reality, and this is my overshare, is when you are going through treatment, a lot of times, especially if it's a hormonal cancer, doctors will keep you in medical menopause. So I was 33 in menopause and I was like, what is this? I'm having hot flashes. I'm having vaginal dryness. I like haven't even thought about sex. And I remember just being in my doctor's office with my oncologist and I was bawling my eyes out. And I just was like, I just want to be a normal 33-year-old dating and having fun and going out with my friends and being silly and like all these things. And I feel like I'm an 85-year-old woman trapped on the inside.
Yeah, oh my God, thank you for sharing your story. That sounds really tough to just feel like you said you were the healthiest person, had your fitness routine and ate well and didn't have it in your family, and then to find something out like that cannot by any means be like easy at all. So navigating that, first of all, is such a challenge. But then at the age that you are at, where you just want to have fun and you just want to be like everybody else. So when you finally did decide to start dating and actually putting yourself out there, how did you navigate that conversation? Is it something that you feel like, oh, I need to disclose this right away? Is it important enough to tell someone on a first date, or is it something that you disclose later on? How do people react to it? And just tell me about like your dating life, needing to kind of have this vulnerability now that you didn't have to before.
Honestly, it has been really hard and I'm still figuring it out. And thankfully, like I always trust my intuition. My intuition is always like right when it comes to people and experiences. So I kind of let that navigate me because no one gives you the answers. You really are like the test subject as you're going through it. And so I really just would figure out, do I feel safe with this person? Can I trust them? So at the beginning, I would always say, okay, I'm going to wait till like the third date or till it felt right. And then some other people, I told them on the first date, and they were, because like cancer either came up or like something came up or they shared something really vulnerable. And so I was like, okay, I feel like I can share this with them as well. Has it worked? I don't know. I'm still single. So don't take my advice. But now I feel so much more comfortable with it because for the longest time, even though this was this huge thing that I had created and I was doing so much good in the world and I was sharing my story on all these media outlets, and like this was becoming, unfortunately and fortunately, a bit of my identity. When it came to sharing that in a vulnerable state with a man who I didn't know, I felt a lot of shame around it. So I felt like this is something that is sacred to me that I need to share in the right opportunity.
What kind of reactions were you getting when you would tell somebody on a date in a romantic setting? Like, what were the different reactions that you would get?
Oh my God. One guy cried. And that was the guy that I told on our second date because he had shared something like about his health with me. And then I told him, and it was really sweet. It wasn't like a cringe way. It was just like, he was just like, as I'm getting to know you, I realized like how incredible of a person you are. And like, I can't believe you had to go through that. I'm so sorry. So that was like the best. And then other people it's always been great. Like guys being like, that doesn't change how I view about you, what I view about you. But you know, I mean, again, the relationships haven't stuck out, but I don't think it has anything to do with the cancer, but you never know.
Right.
I feel like guys get scared sometimes.
Yeah. You never know what the reason is, but it's always for the betterment of you. Right.
Yeah,
and now you're getting more comfortable sharing this part of you, not only on these big platforms, on on places like Dr. Phil and whatever else you've done, but now you're doing it in a vulnerable setting, one-on-one, which is like, it's not easy to share something so personal and so vulnerable. So I commend you for that.
Thank you.
And so let's talk about, you said that the doctors put you on a medical menopause. So now I'm just curious, like, why do they do that? And what kind of challenges were you facing now? Because like you said, you wanted to just be a young woman doing what young women want to do, you know, intimacy and stuff like that. So tell me about how that affected you.
Yeah. So during actual treatment, if you have a hormonal cancer, they want to stop any of your hormones from going throughout your body because that's how your cancer spreads. And also as a way to protect your ovaries and your reproductive system, because chemo can make you infertile, they will essentially inject you with something called Lupron. It's a monthly injection that you get in your booty, and it puts your reproductive organs to sleep. But because they put everything to sleep, it shuts down all your hormones. So your period stops, you get hot flashes, and that's what menopause is. It's like your body stops producing eggs and the hormones properly. So so due to that, it's just like your brain chemistry starts to change. You're affected mentally, like your thoughts, like estrogen is basically the lubricant for your brain and for your bones and your joints. So it's like you start getting hip pain, you start getting really bad brain fog on top of like the chemo brain, which is like, so literally I would be in the middle of a sentence and be like, I have no idea what I was about to say. But like sexually, you have no libido. Sex becomes very painful because there's no lubrication down there. And like, even just like having an orgasm is just like impossible. So so they don't tell, of course, they don't want to tell you these things because they don't want to like overwhelm you or scare you, I guess. But I'm like, I wish like right before I was getting this injection, they were like, here's what's going to happen. And like this is going to be a temporary thing in your life. But
would you have still went through with doing it had you known?
I mean, I didn't really have a choice. Like when you're in that, like your health is at the forefront. It's like the priority, right? But and thankfully, I guess I was single, because people who are married and like in relationships are like, my husband's like, hello.
And you know, and hopefully when you're with the right person, they're understanding and everything. But then there's going to be so many people out there who are not with the right person, who they won't be understanding, and that will make somebody walk away, you know, and it's like through your hardest time. So it's like a blessing and a curse that you were single, you know, because you got to navigate that on your own. That is, that's difficult. So you would have rather known that this was going to happen versus just being blindsided.
I'm such a person that it's like, I want to see the full picture of everything. Like, I know some people don't want to know, but I'm like, literally tell me everything. Like, tell me everything so that I can mentally prepare. But you're exactly right. Like, and I truly believe like, the people that are meant to be in your life are meant to be there, and the people that are meant to fall away, like fall away. And cancer really does highlight all of that. Like you lose so many relationships from cancer, which is crazy because you would think that so many more people would rally around you and your relationships would grow. But some of the closest people to you end up leaving.
Did you have friendships, or was it like family members or somebody who like couldn't handle dealing with it, or like what was the reason you think that people like fell off?
Friendships, work, family. I don't think all of that was tied to cancer. A few of those were, but I think like with cancer, it expedites the amount of change that you go through and like who you are as a person. I'm a Scorpio, and I am like all about change and evolution just without cancer. And then going through cancer, it really made me get clear on like, what do I want in life? Who do I want in my life? And like, this is who I am, and I'm not going to like lower my standards for anyone anymore. And that really weeds out the people. But I think at the beginning, cancer is such a heavy topic and a heavy thing to go through. And most people in their lives can't handle the things that they're going through on their own, let alone hold space for someone who's going through something through cancer. So because it's so uncomfortable, I think a lot of people just don't know what to say. So they don't say anything. And then you just lose that relationship.
That's so true about the holding space. I like to, whenever I'm talking to my friend or like even I want to vent about something, I always say like, do you have space for me right now to bring this to you? Because they might be going through something that's really hard on their own. And sometimes we don't have space. But I think all it takes is just that question, you know, and someone might say, no, I actually don't have the space right now to hear that. And that's fine. But I think like you said, some people just shy away from even asking or having a conversation.
Yeah.
And like you said, you'll weed out the people that aren't meant to be there. Sometimes people come around, you know, like maybe two people grow at different paces and then like later down the road you reconnect and you're like, oh, I'm so happy to have you in my life again. We needed this time apart.
Yeah.
So do you feel like with anybody that you've quote unquote lost, like do you feel like that might happen like later down the line where you like reconnect again?
Yeah. I mean, I will never say no, and I'll never say never because I'm always open to those things. But it's really hard when you go through like the hardest thing of your life and someone's not there or they choose to not be there, for me to kind of be like, okay, well, I want you in my life when things get easier. There are people that were really, really close to me that never said one thing to me during treatment. And it's been really painful to process. And I think I would be able to forgive them for myself, but would I want to like rebuild that relationship? I don't know. I don't know, because it's like, you know, that stupid saying where it's like, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. But it's like, it's kind of true. It's kind of true. It's like, I went through that and I really needed support, and I know what I would give to my friendships and to the people I love. And so it's really hard for me to comprehend not being able to do that.
Have you ever, during that time when you needed the support from those people, did you ever tell them like, hey, I need your support, like, why aren't you there? Or did you just let them make the choice not to give you the support and not say anything to them?
One of the friends, yes, I did. And then they came around for like a little bit longer and then just disappeared, and I never said anything again. I was like, I can say it once and I don't need to say it again.
Right.
But I will say again, my Scorpio ass is really good at like cutting people off, and it can be a good thing and can be a bad thing. And so sometimes when I don't want the confrontation, I will just like remove myself, and I'm working through that. Ask my therapist.
I mean, yeah, sometimes it is best to remove yourself from something, and sometimes we got to face the shadows.
I know.
And go through the weeds of it. In order for the evolution, especially like the Scorpio evolution. You know? So everything in due time. Well, before we get into our hot take, I do want to give a little shout out to my sponsor, Sunset Drip. We got the Vietnamese cold brew coffee. If you want $5 off of your order, type in Jackie in the promo code on their website, and stay caffeinated, my friends. So good.
Yummy.
Okay, so let's get into the hot takes. Now, I don't know if it's the same subject or a different subject, but what you got for me today?
Oh, a hot take? Wait, you didn't prepare me for this. Oh, no. I'm like, what do I come up with? Okay, I need like a subject. I need like a topic. Like, what is my hot take?
Ooh, okay. Is there anything that's been like ruminating on your mind lately where you just like, you almost like want to type it on your social media, but you like stop yourself because you're like, oh, I don't want to like piss people off, or like no one's going to agree with this. That's basically
literally my life is a hot take. Like I have opinions about everything. So I'm just like, I don't know.
It could be pop culture. It could be your health. It could be friendships, relationships, sexuality, like whatever.
I'll say this because this is the first thing that came to mind, and like White Lotus has been, don't come for me. I don't think White Lotus is that good.
You know what? I've never seen it. So I unfortunately cannot give my opinion, but I know everybody talks about it.
Yeah.
And I keep seeing memes of like that older actor guy that he's like supposedly sexy or something.
Yeah.
But my hot take is no.
I think people love it because of the way it's shot. Like it's beautifully shot and like it's very artsy and stuff, but like I cannot pay attention to save my life. Like I will find myself being like 5 episodes in being like, what happened? And I know that's a very like silly answer for a hot take. And if I had more time, I know I'd have some juicy ones, but I really can't think of any.
No, that's a great hot take because I don't think not every hot take has to be so deep and vulnerable. I mean, they are great when they are, and I think that's the overshare, but a hot take can literally be anything. I had a guest on the show say that why does everyone like matcha? I hate matcha. That was his hot take. So like,
honestly, I mean, yeah. And like, I love differing opinions about things. That's what makes like individuals so unique and like whatever. But also I will say, going back to the dating, men are better internationally. Hot take.
Okay, so fine. Let's talk. Well, let's talk about this. I can't really comment on White Lotus only because I haven't seen it. But when it comes to dating, okay, why? Tell me why, and tell me all the like.
Yeah.
Have you had experience?
Yeah, I mean, I am an international woman. No, I've lived all around the world, and I just believe in outsourcing. It's a supply and demand problem. Like living here in LA, I'm like, it's really hard. I think LA in any major city is going to be really challenging because most people don't move to a city to like find a relationship and settle down. They go there for their career and to boom, right? Like I did the same thing. But at the heart of it all, like I've always wanted a family and relationships, but like dating in LA, I cannot connect with these guys to save my life. And I think it's like a mismatch of like core values and having the career aspirations as well, like having a little bit of mix of both. And maybe I'm just not meeting the right people. I do live in West Hollywood, so that might be the issue. But
I lived there before I moved here a few months ago. But I can agree that for a long time, I felt the same way. It's like, you just meet people and there's just the alignment's not there. But I honestly, the more you go through it and the more you keep meeting people and dating, what I realize is like you get closer and closer. You almost figure out what you don't want, what you do want.
Yeah.
And then you're growing and you're learning.
Yeah.
And like literally you just get closer and closer. And then it's like when the timing is right. But I want to talk about the international thing. Okay. Have you dated internationally? Am I going to see you on 90 Day Fiance?
Honestly, they reached out to me
Shut up.
last month to be on the show. And I was like,
stop.
But you have to be like talking to someone that you haven't met. My thing is I've met all these guys. So
wait, that's so crazy that I brought that up because I didn't know that. Obviously, it's my favorite show. I've seen every episode of every spinoff.
Okay.
There's like 10 spinoffs and I watched everything.
Resort.
Oh yeah, girl. I've watched it all. Okay. Like,
so I was actually I was supposed to be on this show, not on 90 Day Fiance, but like a spinoff show.
Oh, a spinoff.
But I thought it was just going to be this dating show that was on TLC, like a singles situation. But the trailer just dropped and it turns out it was a 90 Day Fiance dating show.
I've seen the commercials.
And I said, thank you, Lord. Thank you. I was not on that show.
You know, there are some characters. There are some characters. Sometimes I'm like, oh, that's a redeeming person every now and then. But usually there's some characters on
90 Day Fiance producers are doing their job.
I actually need to get a 90 Day Fiance producer on the show because we need to talk. How do you find these people? Okay, so dating internationally, you said that it has to be someone you haven't like met yet, but the person that you've talked to, you've already met. Are you currently talking to someone right now?
I mean, I have like 93 Italian husbands.
You have a roster.
So it's fine.
She has a roster.
I am going to Italy for the third time in a year in a couple weeks. I'm hosting a retreat there. But I just like really connect with Italian men. I think a part of me, I also had my astrocartography read, and like a big part of me is in Italy. But I've lived all over the world. I was born in South America. I was born in Uruguay, and I lived in Bangkok, Thailand for a year and a half. I've lived in Africa for like 3 months. And so I'm just like an international person. But what I really like about international men, or just men that have grown up in a different country outside of America, like they grow up so much faster. They're a lot more mature. They're a lot more like romantic and like chivalrous, versus here in America, they're a lot more immature. And I feel like, especially in LA, it's a lot more of like taking care of the men versus like the men taking care of you. And that's not everyone. Okay. Don't come for me. Obviously, I have a lot of guy friends that are really amazing. And like, I know a lot of really amazing men, but the men that I have like talked to or dated or experienced, like this is my experience, right? And a lot of my girlfriend's experiences. And so I just feel like I connect on like a deeper level to guys that I don't meet from here. And I'm not saying they're all perfect.
Oh, 100%. Do you think a part of it is, and I've talked about this on the show before, where it's like the feminine masculine, where like a lot of women nowadays, especially in big busy cities like LA, we feel like we have to be hyper independent because we're here going for our goals and our careers and our dreams. And so we have to be able to do all the things. And then social media is telling us that like, you're a boss bitch, like get it, girl. So then like, because we're that way, sometimes it reflects on the men, and then the men don't want to be as masculine because they're like, you guys are already doing that for yourself. So do you think that has something to do with that in America?
I think that plays a part in it, but I also think the way that men are raised in America, it's not allowing them or teaching them to be in tune with their feminine side as well, like their emotional side. So a lot of them are raised to be like machismo, or they feel like they have to be a man, and being a man means to be X, Y, and Z. And usually those are like negative things. And so therefore it becomes an imbalance. And I also think with women, like we are becoming a lot more independent and strong and successful in our careers, and we're not finding the men that will allow us to be in our feminine. And so there's that mismatch, you know, and then we end up taking a lot of motherly roles with these men who maybe they don't have the confidence to be that I hate saying the man, but like have that manly role in the relationship. So I just think there's like a I don't know, like imbalance there. And I think with a lot of international men, like they have a mix of both. Like they're emotional, but they're also confident in like themselves and their masculinity.
Well, I hope that you and one of your 93 Italian husbands, I hope that one of them works out.
One of them lands.
I mean, unless you want all 93, I'm not here to say monogamy is the only way. So
right. Oh God, I can barely handle one man at a time. Like, please.
I know. Well, I'm excited for you to go over there and fall in love.
Yeah, right.
Do all your things.
Cross.
Yes. Okay, so I actually want to do something called Ask and You Shall Receive. So I have some questions that I've actually not announced this on the show before. I'm working on a card deck, like a game, kind of like
so fun.
Let's say, you know, those like deep cards where you pull them, or like Cards Against Humanity. Yeah, that kind of thing. So I'm this in the works. I don't know when it's going to drop, but I have questions on there and I'm going to test one of them out. I actually have 4.
I love the game.
I have 4, but which one do I want to ask?
Oh my God. Give me the best one.
Okay, let me see which one I want to ask. I'm going to ask you this one. Share a difficult conversation that you've had with a family member and what you've learned from it.
Oh, wow.
We're going deep.
I love going deep. Family, I will say, is one of my biggest pain points. So this is like a very deep topic for me. Growing up, I was like, I never felt like I was seen and heard. And so I was kind of raised with this like mentality that my friends will be my family. And I still, even going through cancer, have felt that way. So I've had a lot of like difficult conversations, like especially with my mom, but we actually had a really beautiful conversation last week. And I'm very grateful for it because my mom really went through a lot of trauma growing up where she was never validated. She was really highly criticized, and she suffered a lot of issues mentally, emotionally, physically because of that. And so we had this amazing conversation, and this is a difficult conversation, but she shared with me that she experienced like an eating disorder severely for 10 years. And so when she had children, she was like, these are the things that I will never do for my kids. But because she was so hyper fixated on the things that she was never going to do, she wasn't able to focus on the things that she needed to do. And so there was a lot of tears because it was a really vulnerable conversation with expressing how I just felt like I didn't receive the love and care that I needed. And even going through cancer, I felt like I didn't receive the love and care emotionally that I needed from family. But it came full circle, and my mom was very apologetic, genuinely, for the areas that she lacked. And for the first time in my life, I'm really seeing my mom as an adult woman who went through a lot of hardships and not the mother that didn't give me the things that I so desperately needed.
That's powerful because, you know, we look at our parents, a lot of us, as like the role of they are our parents, but we forget that they're living life for the first time too.
Yeah.
They were once a kid. They were once a new parent, not knowing what they were doing. And then I always just try to remember they're doing the best they can with the tools that they had at the time. And like sometimes it is hard to look at our parents or any family members and like see them as like their own individual person, because we just see them as a role. Like that's my mom. My mom is supposed to be A, B, C, D, E, or that's my dad. And it's like they're just people that are trying their best. And sometimes their best doesn't feel good enough, you know what I mean? But that's such a powerful conversation that you had. You had that recently with your mom?
Yeah, like last week.
How did you begin to have it? Like, were you the one that initiated the conversation? And what made you like finally want to have that?
We've had like conversations. My mom will give me like information in bits and pieces. And I asked her on the phone, like, why have you never told me about, you know, some of these things that you'd gone through? And she's like, well, I have 4 kids. And so it's like, I have to tell the story 4 times and I don't remember who I told. But my mom is kind of like, she opens when she wants to open. And so that's why like I'm 35 and I only know bits and pieces of my mom's story because she tells me these things. And so we were just having a normal conversation. And I think a part of her wants to talk and wants to share more, but she just has to do it on her own terms. So we were actually on the phone for 2 hours, and that literally I don't think has ever happened in my entire life. And then she just started telling me things, and then we just started sharing. So
so now that you've been like vulnerable and like shared that with her, do you feel like your relationship with her has like changed and now it's like easier for you to be that way with her after that?
Well, she's known most of my life that I've struggled with family. Like this, I just, you know, I keep my family a little bit at a distance as a way to like protect my heart a bit. But I do feel like after this conversation, something shifted. But I think a lot of it is something shifting in me. I went through a Wachuma ceremony on New Year's Eve.
Say that. And what ceremony?
Wachuma.
What's that?
It's like the sibling to ayahuasca.
Okay, I was thinking it probably was something like that, but I've actually never heard of it.
Yeah, I actually had never heard of it either. My friend had done it, and then she invited me to this ceremony, and it was very gentle. It was nothing compared to ayahuasca, but I had a lot of revelations around family and love, and so since then I've been shedding a lot of these old beliefs I've had around my mom. And so just like, what role can I play in the pain that I'm causing myself versus like putting everything on them, you know? And so I think that has really helped and has really helped shift like the relationship and how I can be a part of that relationship moving forward.
So the Wachuma helped you get there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's powerful. So for anyone looking into plant medicine, is it just something that you like? Do you smoke it? Do you drink it?
No, you drink it, but you'll need someone to like facilitate it for you, because it's not just like you take it and whatever. Like it's important to like really be intentional about.
Yeah, don't be getting that Wachuma from the man down the street.
No, no street Wachuma, please.
Yeah, no, it's interesting that there's so many different plants out there that can facilitate such like powerful moments. That's so beautiful. Okay, so now I want you to pretend like you have little Amanda in front of you, whatever age when I say like younger version of you, what age do you picture?
5.
5. Okay, so what would you tell her right now?
Oh, don't make me cry.
Well, if you cry, I'm crying, girl, because that's how I am. So we're either both going to cry or
I was actually thinking of like my younger self this week, because I did a lot of amazing things have been happening with my career and telling my cancer story. Like I just filmed Dr. Drew. That's why I went to Florida. And I did
Dr. Phil and Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
Sick.
And so like a lot of these things are really coming to fruition. And I was just thinking about how proud I would be being so young, because I always knew something powerful and amazing was going to happen in my future, but I never knew what. And I've always struggled with like my self-worth and my confidence, and have gone through a really, really hard stuff in my life. But I would just tell her that like everything is going to work out, because it always does. And like even the lows and the struggles are there to teach you something, and there's a lesson in everything. And so just keep putting one foot in front of the other, because like life is going to get really good.
Yeah, it would be so great if like somebody was there to tell us that our whole life. I mean, of course, like we have friends or family or this or that, but like imagine being able to like actually talk to your older version of yourself when you're that little and actually seeing the thriving, successful version. Like I think about it all the time. I just want to like give myself a hug too.
Yeah, right. I know, because then it's like, okay, you have that like peace of mind when you feel like, oh, my life is over because this boy broke my heart, and it's like, it's not. It's not. So yeah,
that was the source of a lot of my pain growing up. It was boys,
of course. They all, and to this day.
Oh man, if I could have just told myself, girl, it's not that serious,
right? And this man is not your husband.
No,
and I don't mean man.
And thank God he's not.
Yeah.
Right.
You're going to leave your small town and you're going to fly those wings, honey.
You're going to go to Italy and have 92 husbands.
Right.
So tell me a little, well, me, us, all of us listening, a little bit about Cancer Baddies. Because first of all, the name is great. But just tell people about it and how you came up with it and who's a part of it and things like that.
Yeah. Cancer Baddies is literally just anyone who wants to be a cancer baddie. But I came up with it when I was going through treatment. And like I said, I wanted to create a way to connect with my community online. So I started hosting monthly calls, and then that led to bi-weekly calls. And then I've worked in like community and partnerships for a really long time. And so I started bringing in wellness practitioners to lead monthly virtual events. And so then this community grew into like a global community of women who wanted to just embody what like being a baddie and going through treatment was like. And it's kind of more of like a state of mind. But yeah, so now I have a membership community online where there's live chats and they have access to all of our events. And it's a really good way for other cancer patients and survivors to be able to connect with each other. So I led an in-person retreat last year in LA. And so this retreat that I'm hosting in Italy, it's half cancer survivors and half just wellness women who are wanting to have an amazing experience.
I love that you took something that, you know, is so tough and can be so dark and can be something that really just keeps you down for the rest of your life. You took that and you just transmuted it into like this magical, beautiful thing that's helping so many people. And I think that's beautiful. What's something that you want to manifest over the next, let's say, year, 2, 3, like what's something that if you could speak the words out loud right now, you know, because your word is your wand, if you could just speak it out loud into the world, into existence, like what's something that you want to manifest?
Everything. No. No, I believe that. I'm always speaking manifestations out, but I definitely want a family in the next few years. Like I want to find my person and start making moves in the next few years to be able to start creating a family of my own. I want like business and my purpose in this world is one of my biggest goals, has always been my biggest goal. And when I feel like I'm purposeless, I feel very lost. So I would love Cancer Baddies to continue to evolve. I want to work with as many organizations and brands as possible. I want to be able to help as many women as possible. I really want to make an impact emotionally, physically, spiritually in this world, and also be seen and recognized as a result of all of that. And I feel like if I'm helping other people and I feel like I'm actually making a difference, like I can rest easy. So I want to be a global person. I want to live all over the world and any Italian men. No, I'm just kidding.
So it is. No, I love that because let's say in a year's time or however long time, like that comes true. You got your man, you got your this, you got your that. You can look back at this episode and be like, I said it on that day and it came true. So this is the place where the magic happens.
Exactly.
So tell everybody where they can find you and if they want to be a part of your retreats or anything like that in the future, let everybody know.
Yeah, you can find me on all socials. Hi, Amanda Butler. Instagram, TikTok are my main platforms. Also, my Instagram for Cancer Baddies is just at Cancer Baddies. I have a newsletter, so any of the links in my bios, you can subscribe to my newsletter and you'll get all of the info for all my retreats and upcoming events.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here, sharing your story and spreading good vibes across the globe. Thank you guys for watching and listening to our overshares. We'll be back next time with more. See ya.
Yay.